Ladies and gentlemen, the 5.6 special live stream has ended, and we do have all the news coming to you right now. And I gotta say, this patch looks okay. Like to me, it's just another filler patch. And I know that some people might argue because it has a Archon quest, but to be honest, it does still feel like a filler patch. Even with the Archon quest coming and what implications could have in Phase 2, Phase 1 leaves, in my opinion, a lot to be desired when it comes to the story front of everything, but I do want to still talk about it. But before we get into that, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that wonderful great stuff. Don't forget to check out Gamer Subs, of course. Use code Tystra for 10% off of your purchase. Guys, I'm just saying, I'm trying to get the Cup of Destiny. I need y'all's help to do it, so please make sure that you help me out, or if you can, help me out. It's not an obligation, but if you buy like 500 cups off of the website right now, I'll be forever thankful. So let's go ahead and dive into the version 5.6 stuff. The trailer itself looked okay. It's just, it starts out with the whole cooking thing that they're going to be doing with escoffier. And yeah, it goes into phase 2 afterwards, which phase 2 is going to be a lot more darker toned. We're going back to Mondstadt. Albedo's being charged with murder, you know, all that good stuff. And yeah, there's a little bit of stuff that I want to talk about as we go through this, but let's go ahead and get into the nitty gritty first. Banner wishes look okay. We do have phase 1 escoffier and Navia as a rerun, with Aoife being part of the banners, right? I always think that this is a great idea, especially if you're introducing a new 5-star character and a 4-star character in the same patch. They should be with the new characters, and we've seen before where that's not the case, so I'm really glad that they decided to keep Aoife on Escoffier's banner, because that makes the most sense, right? Now, again, I'm always going to say, you know, don't spend real money on these banners. Like, I especially think this, and I have some gut feelings about Escoffier personally. I think that she's going to be really cool for freeze comp teams. I don't think that's a bad thing, but I think the implications of where Genshin is going, especially with these 5-star characters, is starting to scare me a little bit. I mean, granted, we did have the, you know, whole debacle of the Natlan characters being, you know, oh, hey, it traverses the region better, so you have to pay to get that, right? And that's really bad as it is. People can make their arguments. I think it's terrible, right? And there are free-to-play options, but they are way, way slower. However, with the implication of what Escoffier is going to indicate in regards to future characters, it leads to speculation, right? And that's all really I have. I don't have anything concrete. I don't know anything, but I fear for certain things, right? But that's a topic for another video. Let's go ahead and talk about I just gave away what I was talking about. Escoffier, let's talk about her, right? So Escoffier, she's going to be basically a freeze buffer and also a debuffer to enemies when it comes to freeze. The enemies don't have to be frozen to get this debuff, so that's pretty neat. So I think that that'll work really, really well for her. Aoife is going to be a healer of sorts. Same with Escoffier. Escoffier actually has healing properties, which is pretty cool. I think that she's going to be a character that people use a lot if they do summon for her. I wouldn't blame people for skipping her, because she doesn't look like a 5-star. Aoife looks like the 5-star, not Escoffier, but I digress, right? Aoife's going to be a healer that can heal while also being in midair, being held by a chicken. Yeah, that's about it. And then, of course, Navia is good. Navia is the best Geo DPS right now in the game. So being able to summon for her is always fantastic. I would still say skip on the phase 1, but that's just me. Phase 2, we got Kinich and Raiden Shogun, a repeat of Kinich's banner in the first place. So, yeah, this is pretty neat. Raiden Shogun's still one of the best units in the game. Kinich is fun. So if you had to choose between the two banners, you could go for new characters, or you could go for good characters, because I have no say in how good Escoffier and Aoife are going to be. So definitely would say these two are really good. We're also getting Chronicled Wish for Inazuma, which I was kind of surprised they would do this so quickly, right? We got Ayaka, Ayato, Yoimiya, Chiyori, Yaimiko, Ito, Sangonomiya Kokomi, and Kaidahara Kazuha, right? So Very good units in general. I think Inazuma has the best selection of characters in regards to being able to play meta. Chiori's good with Navia, so that kind of works out in that regard. Ito works with Chiori as well. Ayaka and Ayato are going to work probably decently well with Escoffier because you're going to need water characters. Same with Miss Kokumi over here. And of course, Yai Miko is still one of the best off-field DPSs in my personal opinion before anybody freaks out. Kazuha is considered one of the best support characters, and then Yoimiya is probably the most underrated fan favorite, to be quite honest with you. But that's all I've really got to say about that. The weapons are there. I don't think you should summon a Chronicle Wish, though. That's just my personal opinion on it, but either way, it is what it is. We already talked about Escoffier and Aoife. Pretty okay characters, you know, nothing too crazy. We got the Sequence of Solitude, which is the Phase 1 event that they're going to be doing to talk about Escoffier and how she resides in the Fortress of Meripede. Stuff like that. It is what it is to me. But what's really cool is that we're going to be getting a new weekly boss called the Game Before the Gate, which is going to be a chess game that you fight. And then you're going to fight the Queen and King right here, which they have dual elements each, I believe. The only element that I was able to confirm with the King was Pyro, and then the Queen has Electro and Hydro from what I've been seeing. So pretty cool. I do like this boss. I think that this is one of the plus sides of the whole live stream. So that's just personally for me. I'm very excited to fight this boss. I always like these types of bosses, like Alice in Wonderland style. So that's just me. We get a new boss for materials, which is probably going to be Escoffier's and Eva's materials most likely, which is going to be just like the other of the robotic stuff. I personally don't care. I think that some of these bosses are just whatever. They're very easy to beat, maybe higher HP, but honestly, that's about it. Like, I really don't have a say in the matter of these bosses. And then we get into the nitty gritty, right, of what's going on here. We got the Archon quest that's coming in for Phase 2. And I'm pretty excited for that. And this is what I kind of wanted to talk about here, this map, as you could see. And the reason being why I think that this is important, because obviously we're going to have a court thing with Dahlia, who is a brand new character revealed. And we also get to hear the voice of Varka. But during this story, after Albedo, I'm guessing, or the fake Albedo, I'm pretty sure it's just fake Albedo, escapes from, you know, the prison or whatever, and the Hilly Churls actually invade Mondstadt, I think you get to play as certain characters and do the battles on the sides, which we did see a little bit in the trailer, and I hope that that's the case, because I think that would be a good immersive idea that adds to the story itself. Instead of just doing, oh, you get your four team members and then you get the one character, I think you should have to fight with a pre-built character through the story, because that would be at least fun. It would be a challenge for the story and keep you actually, like, entertained with it, in my personal opinion. But that's me. People might argue against that, and that's perfectly fine. I think that they should do this if that's the case. If they don't do it, I'm going to be very sad, because that actually got me excited to be a part of the story, right? And we do get a little bit of hints of Alice there, which is pretty cool. But what's really funny is that Venti calls Varka and calls Alice, and Varka answers the phone. So you know what they're doing, you know what I mean? But it sucks because I wanted Alice, but that it is what it is. New story quest for Escoffier, whatever to me. It is what it is. We got new events, and they gave us a little table of what's going to happen for the events. If we go to this actual image, it shows you how many Primo Gems you're going to get for this patch, which is, I think, pretty cool. So overall, what we got, let me pull my calculator. We got 420 times 3, and then we're also getting 990. So 2,250 primos, plus the 30, and then whatever else comes in. So that's pretty neat. I think that's a cool little thing that they're doing now, is actually showing us how much primos we're going to get. We're getting the Whirling Waltz bow, or not the bow, but there is a free bow from this event that we were just talking about a little bit ago, where it looks like we get little tasks for our amusement park, right? Because we're making an amusement park. We got a little Tetris thing, or not Tetris. I think that's more like Pokemon Troze type-esque thing, but it does have Tetris style blocks, so I guess that's cool. We got the Chronicle of Shifting Stratagems, which we get to try one of two trial characters alongside our own characters to see if we like them. I think that's okay. Like, it's a good event. Like, in general, you get to try out some characters before they or when they release, so you don't have to worry about if you should spend your primos, if they work for your account, that type of thing. Operation Downpour Simulator is going to be uh, basically you have to destroy the enemy base around there. It's a PvP event too, so you could do PvP, you could do PvE. I'm probably not going to do PvE or sorry PvP on this event personally because I feel like I would crash the hell out. We got the Legends of Blaze Cross Border Brawl, which is another PvP event that they're doing, but you just collect coins. I think that's a little bit more fun. It kind of reminds me of a Mario Party aspect to it, so that's going to be fun. And then we got Leyline Overflow, a staple. This is nothing new. Oh, hold on. My freaking mic was stealing my, like, chin hair, dude. New cards, whatever to me. I don't care about Genius Invocation in the game. However, I will say I do have a box of Genius Invocation cards coming in, so I might open that for a stream. Who knows? Let me know if you guys would like to see that on the stream. And then we got the system adjustments that were talked about in the dev notes. I'm not going to go too deep into those, but we got the Brilliant Blessings optimizations, the rewards for full Stellas from there, the restart option on the last stage, descriptions of talents and cons for new characters, which helps with understanding it better, treasure compass optimizations, which are a lot better and easier for you to 100% areas, and deleting custom pins and badges. Now, I want to talk about something that actually did irritate the hell out of me. I am very, 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 very upset about this. And the reason being is how they framed it. They talked about before the last of the codes that they were like, oh, and news on a collab that's coming. And that's already a big thing to say. But what ticks me off is that a collab like this, and I think that the Genshin devs need to understand that not everyone's going to be excited for this. This is whatever to us, is that this is a offline collab, which is whatever. Like, if you have offline collabs, a game should. I don't want that to be a thing. But don't make it such a big deal when you know that people of the Genshin Impact community have been asking for another collab. Like, this was such stupid wording in regards of what they did. And people can be mad at me for saying what I'm saying, but it's the truth. No one outside of the UK is really going to care about this event. If there is somebody that does care about this event or this collaboration, good on you. Whatever. But the majority of the players do not care to hear about the Charlotte Tilbury or Charlotte Tilbury, whatever this is. Nobody's gonna care. Nobody's gonna care. I'm gonna be 100%. They should have just they shouldn't have made it like, oh, a collab that's happening. They shouldn't have done that. What they should have just said is like, now on to our offline stuff that we're doing. Here's a collab that we're working on, instead of phrasing it the way that they did. And they knew what they were saying is bad phrasing. I know for a fact they do. Like, they're not stupid. So that just irritated me. That was probably the part where I got most agitated. And then, of course, new OST album, and then followed by an announcement that on the 30th, which, as of this recording, is in 4 days, is a Song of Welcome Moon trailer that they announced for the next section, which highly alludes to Nod Cry. Now, overall, I'm going to say that when it comes to this live stream, it wasn't terrible, right? Genshin is just very mid right now. I'm not trying to be mean about it. I'm just being completely and utterly honest. This stuff is just mid. It really is. And I just really think that overall, like, this patch is a nothing burger patch, but it's not bad, right? There's still some good stuff coming from it, but it's not as amazing as other creators are making it seem to be. I'm sorry. Like, I'm being more realistic as a Genshin. Like, I'm not sitting here and saying I'm not a Genshin fan. Like, I have Genshin stuff right here. Like, I don't hide it. But what I am saying is that I'm being more realistic in regards to Genshin Impact. And this is just a regular patch. It seems more like filler to me, outside of the Nod Cry stuff, before anybody freaks out. You know, the Nod Cry stuff seems cool. The Albedo side of the story seems cool. Even people who hate Genshin have said that that part looked cool. The problem is that everything else is just a big nothing burger, and it doesn't carry. Like, you can't expect the story of Phase 2 to carry everything else about Genshin right now. So, to me, it's a very mid patch. That's all I'm going to say. Filler, mid, doesn't matter. And if you guys enjoy the patch, that's great. I want you guys to enjoy the games that you play. If you like the game, fantastic. But I'm not going to be sitting here and being like, it's the greatest update ever. Oh my God. You know, it's not going to be that. I'm not going to be that guy. I'm really not. So anyways, y'all, that's going to be it for today's video. Like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to check out GamerSubs. Use code Tyson for 10% off. And as always, we will see you all in the next video. Please take care and be safe.